meeting you.
Back to the 2015 Senior Bowl coverage from eDraft.com. Privileged to be joined by Charles Davis from the NFL Network. Charles, couple quick questions. Obviously, running back, pass rushers.
Okay, let's start with the running backs. I think Amir Abdullah was terrific this week. We don't get to see enough of these running backs because of the way we're doing drills and all, but come game day, if he's healthy, because I think he might have gotten a little ding there down the stretch, I really thought that he was terrific this week. Pass rushers, Nate Orchard, I think from Utah has done very well distinguishing himself. I think Hauli Kakaha, people came in with some question marks about him. Did he have enough movement skills? But his hands, he wins with his hands, and if you check his background,
Jiu-jitsu, right?
Judo champion,
right, Right.
So I think that helps him a lot as a pass rusher. I think Zadarius Smith from Kentucky. We saw him last week at the East-West game, and it was just like easy pickings
MVP,
for him there.
Right?
He was phenomenal. I think this week, going against better people, he elevated his game and more than held his own.
A couple small school guys here. Ali Marpet from Hobart, Division III here. It looks like he's got a lot of strength and really held his own for a D3 guy. What was your stance on him this week, kind of making a name for himself?
Yeah, I think for him it was coming in and finding out that he could play. You can have all the confidence in the world, but when you're playing Ithaca and St. Lawrence and Dickinson, you're not seeing guys that look like that, that you're going against. I bet he just mauled everyone in D3 at 307 pounds. But we found out that he's really not a tackle. He's more of an inside guy. And I thought that his confidence grew as the week went on, and he got better and better. And so it'll be fun to watch him continue to progress.
Last couple here with Charles Davis.
Yeah, looking at guys like Marpet, what do you think about the job that Phil Savage has done scouting the country and bringing guys in like that who, the average guy probably doesn't know who they are, but they come in here and they show up?
Well, it shows a former general manager in the league, a guy who loves what he does, and he and his guys get out there and scour the country, and they love to give guys an opportunity, and give them a chance. And I think the scouting job they do is phenomenal.
Let's end with a couple more here. Quarterback position, obviously the most important position, right? It seems like the consensus is Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, then a big drop-off. Did anybody here kind of make a name for themselves or at least boost their stock enough to be considered for that third spot?
I'm not sure that anyone has so far. I think that when you look at it, that third spot's still wide open. Brett Hundley we wanted to see here from UCLA. I don't think that he lost ground. A lot of times when people aren't there, they say, hey, this guy jumped up and took your spot. I'm not sure that really truly happened. I think there's still plenty of guys who intrigue you that you got to do more homework on. For me, it's Sean Mannion from Oregon State, it's Bryce Petty from Baylor, and it's Garrett Grayson from Colorado State. Those would be the three out of this game as quarterbacks that I would spend the most time on, saying, okay, could they jump into that thing and be the third guy, and battle a guy like a Brett Hundley who's not here.
Another quarterback who was a quarterback now transferring here to the defensive back, Nick Marshall, right? A tough spot to be put on the spot and really be thrown in the fire, a lot to really adjust to. What were your impressions early on from his transition from quarterback to cornerback?
Well, I think it's a wonderful one. To me, it's a back to the future. Because remember, he went to Georgia as a corner, did a nice job there his first year before having to leave school. Then he ended up being a quarterback at Auburn after junior college, and obviously that was extremely successful, played for a national championship. So transitioning back, he did it in the toughest possible crucible. Senior Bowl, terrific receivers, just jumped into the fire. He didn't even go through like a month long of training for it. So legs became an issue for him, how the legs holding up, going into the back pedal, braking and driving, thinking again rather than just playing and reacting. I think if we saw him again in a month, things would smooth out greatly. I think he's terrific.
A lot of ability.
A ton of ability, and he's got exactly what you're looking for in terms of size to be a corner in the NFL. I'm really excited about what's out there for Nick Marshall. I think whoever gets him is getting a heck of a football player, and it won't be long. We'll be talking about him being a starting corner in the NFL.
And I think just to end this, I know cornerback this year, a little bit of question in terms of like who's going to sort of like step up, maybe be the top corner in the class. Do you think anyone here so far has sort of shown that they could be a first-round pick at cornerback?
You talk about it at the corner. I think there's still some guys who are working their way into that. For me, I thought Kevin White for TCU made a big jump in the minds of people. I'd seen him a bunch, and I was very high on him coming here. Steven Nelson from Oregon State, I had not seen. I was looking forward to seeing him. I call him Mighty Mouse. I thought he was great this week. I think Duran Grant is a guy from Ohio State who hadn't gotten a lot of attention, but got good size on him, and I thought he had a good week. Quandre Diggs is probably going to be a nickel corner. terrific battler. I think he's going to be a great guy in the locker room for people, a terrific teammate, and is really tough as nails. And those are just a few of the guys that I saw here. The young man from Northeast, was it Northeast Louisiana? I thought he made some plays this week, and we hadn't talked about him much. So, you know, when you go through the whole thing, I know I'm missing people along the way.
Maybe
Quentin Rollins is a terrific project. Everything he sees is brand new.
Right.
Everything that he sees is the first time. Again, another guy I'd like to take a camera and just follow him all the way through. And a year from now, because we're going to have a movie that probably going to win the Academy Award that was made over, what, 12, 15 years?
Right.
Well, let's do it in 1 year and see where he is. I think that he was going to be really good in a year.
No doubt. Last one with Charles Davis, NFL Network. Day 3's over. Really walk through tomorrow, and then the game. The meat and potatoes of this week is pretty much over now, at least for this North squad. Give me just the biggest winner in your eyes, the guy that maybe made some money this week, a guy that you want to go back and watch the film.
Well, I think Nate Orchard is a very strong candidate for that we're going to go back and see, because he showed the ability to stand up on his feet and make some plays as well. So I think that he's a guy who's a winner. Ibrahim Campbell from Northwestern went out there and did a really nice job of battling people who were wide receivers. He's a safety. Normally those guys don't jump out there as corners. You know what I mean?
You bet.
And make plays like that. So, you know, those are just a couple of guys I thought were terrific this week, and I could go on for days, but I'll give you those as a couple of names.
No doubt. South Practice Day 3 coming up here in a couple hours. Looking forward to Charles Davis and everybody else at the NFL Network's recap. Thanks a lot, Charles. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it, man.